Welcome to Strength in Motion. My name is Becky and today I'm going to take you through a yoga flow class with half an hour, so take a seat in a cross-legged position and get comfortable. If you have tight hip flexors here, then sit on a block or a rolled up mat just to help you lower your knees a little bit closer towards the ground. Take a few moments inhaling and exhaling, breathing in through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, and bring yourself to your mat for your practice. So take your left hand onto your right knee, right hand behind you, lifting through the crown of your head and looking over your right shoulder, twisting through your waist, and then drawing your right hand onto your left knee and again twisting that left hand behind you, twisting round to the left hand side. After this, roll forward onto your knees and bring yourself into an all fours position, knees below hips, hands below shoulders. Look up, draw your belly button down towards your thighs, and then lift up through your shoulders, pushing through the space between your shoulder blades into a cat. Exhale, draw forward, sticking your pelvic floor to the back of the room, and inhale, draw yourself all the way back up again. Continue this process, exhaling down, looking up and away, and then inhaling, drawing yourself all the way back up, and continuing this process at your own rate. Then bring yourself to a flat back and extend your right leg out and away from you. Draw the knee in towards your nose or as close as you can today and extend it back out behind you. Again, work with your breath here, inhaling and exhaling as you go. Inhaling with the elongation, exhale as you crunch forwards. Continue this, working with your breath, and then dorsiflexion through that foot. Draw your arm up and away and draw your knee and your elbow into touch, crunching inwards and expanding outwards. Again, draw the knee and the elbow into touch and expand outwards and away. A few more times, drawing it back in and inhaling as you draw that away. And then exhaling as you're drawing it back in again. Draw the foot up towards the sky and reach back, holding on to the top of the foot. If you can, push the foot in towards the hand, taking it up and behind you, stretching through your quad. Then draw the knee back down towards the floor, hand back down towards the floor, and take the left leg up towards your nose and elongate the leg and away from you. Again, working with your breath. Exhaling as you draw the knee in, inhaling as you draw the leg away from you. Again, exhale and inhale. Now dorsiflexion through the left foot and draw the right arm up and away. If you can, bring the knee and the elbow into touch, crunching inwards and elongate outwards. Again, exhale and inhale as you stretch out. Exhale in and inhale as you reach out and away. Last few times, exhale, inhale, and then reach back for the top of that left foot, again pushing the foot up towards the sky, stretching through the left quad. Draw the knee back down towards the floor, take your knees as wide as your mat, big toes together, and draw your sitting bones down towards your heels. This is a variation of child's pose with your arms out and away from you and your forehead down towards the floor. Sink down into this pose and have a few breaths here. Then draw yourself back up and into a half downward dog. From here we're going to draw ourselves from plank into half downward dog, forwards and backwards, just working that mobility through the spine. Your knees need to be about 2 inches off the floor and just drawing yourself back and forth. Bring yourself into a full downward dog, stretching through your hamstrings and your calves. Drawing your heels down towards the floor. And then bring yourself into a full down dog and take the right leg up towards the sky. Then bring that foot in between your hands and bring yourself up into a high lunge. Arms up and away, looking in between the space in between your hands. Make sure your knee is stacked over your ankle, and if you can, stretch that left leg as straight as possible. Draw both of your hands down towards the floor. Keep your left hand in contact with the floor and draw the right arm up and away. Stack your right shoulder above your left shoulder. Look up towards those extended fingers and then draw the right hand back down. Bring it on the inside and the outside of the right foot And then draw your left arm up and away, looking towards those fingertips again, drawing the left shoulder on top of the right. Come onto the back foot if you want to, for stability. Then bring both of your hands inside and walk your foot over to the outside of your mat. Come down onto your knee if this is really strong through your hip flexors, and draw your elbows down towards the floor. Stretch forwards here. This is really good for the inside of your thighs. Then draw the foot up at the back and draw yourself back into a plank. From here we're going to Chaturanga Dandasana, all the way down, elbows tucked in towards your ribs. Draw yourself up and forwards, inhale into your up dog. Exhale, come back down and draw yourself into your downward facing dog. Again, slowly just padding through the feet here, making sure that you're releasing through your shoulders, looking up towards your belly button. And then take the left leg up towards the sky. Bring that left foot in between your hands, again, knee stacked over ankle, and draw your hands up and away from you. Stretching that right heel far back as you can, straightening through the leg, and looking up between the space in between your hands. Draw your hands down towards your mat, and again, keeping your right arm in contact with the mat, draw the left arm up, stacking the left shoulder over your right. Looking up towards those fingertips, reaching as high as you can. Then drawing the left hand down towards the floor, taking it on the inside and the outside of your left leg. Draw your right arm all the way up towards the sky, stacking that shoulder above the other, and making sure that you're keeping the back leg straight. Bring that right hand back down towards the floor and bring the left hand in, and then walk the left hand over towards the outside of the mat, and if you can, draw the elbows down towards the floor. If this is really strong, bring the knee down towards the mat and have a few breaths. Then take the front foot to the back and Chaturanga Dandasana, all the way down, and then bring yourself up into your up dog. Inhale here, and exhale, drawing yourself up into your downward facing dog. From here, draw your right knee in between your wrists. Settle the left leg far back as you can, elongate through the toes, and take your forehead down to the ground. Walk your hands as far away as you can, and draw the left hip down towards the floor, stretching through your glutes here. And draw yourself all the way up. Bring the front back toes up and come onto the inside of the left foot. Keeping your right knee where it is, stretch up towards the sky and come up into your half side plank. Draw the left hand back down. Tuck the back toes under. Draw the right leg all the way up towards the sky, stacking your right hip on top of your left hip, and then bring the foot all the way back down towards the ground. Gently pad through the feet and then bring the left knee in between your wrists. Again, elongate through your right leg and draw yourself all the way down to the floor, walking your hands out and away from you, forehead to the ground. Draw that right hip down towards the ground, again stretching through your glutes. Give yourself a moment here to breathe. Then slowly walk yourself all the way back up, tucking the back foot under, coming onto the inside of that right leg, draw the hip up towards the sky and come up into your half side plank. Your right arm elongated up towards the sky. Then draw yourself all the way back up. Left leg comes all the way up towards the sky and over, stacking on top of your right hip. And then draw that leg all the way back down, back into your downward facing dog. Slightly pad through the legs here, and then walk, step or jump your feet in between your hands. Come into a forward fold, Uttanasana, holding onto your toes if you want to draw yourself a little bit further down, but micro bend through your knees to protect yourself if you've got tight hamstrings. From here, draw yourself up, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, looking forwards, and then draw yourself all the way back down again. Again, micro bend through the knees to protect your hamstrings. Draw yourself back up, again working with your breath, so you're inhaling and exhaling as you're folding forwards. Bending through your elbows if you want to draw yourself a little bit closer towards the ground. Then inhale, draw your arms all the way up towards the sky, slight back bend and hands heart center. Again, draw your arms all the way up towards the sky and forward fold. Hands down towards the floor, look up, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, and step the right leg back and away. Draw yourself all the way up into a high lunge, hands up towards the sky, look into between the space in between your hands, and then rotate the back foot inwards, drawing yourself into Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. So your heels should be slightly away from you, drawing that right hip forwards towards you. Then bring yourself into Trikonasana, elongating and straightening through that left leg, and taking the left arm all the way down towards your ankle or your calf. Draw the right arm up and away, and look up towards those right fingertips. Then draw the right arm down, bending through that front leg, drawing yourself back into plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, bringing yourself up into an upward facing dog, and then again bringing yourself back into downward facing dog. From here, walk, step or jump your feet in between your hands and bring yourself back into a forward fold, remembering that micro bend in your knees if you need. Folding forwards and bringing yourself up into Ardha Uttanasana or halfway lift, flat back looking forwards, and again folding all the way down on the exhalation. Inhale, draw your arms all the way up towards the sky, hands together and hands heart center. And again, inhale up towards the sky, forward fold all the way down towards the floor, bring yourself up into a halfway lift and again fold all the way down, and then take the left leg back and behind you. And bring yourself all the way up into a high lunge, knee stacked over ankle, look into the space in between your hands, making sure that back leg is nice and straight. And then rotating that foot down towards the floor, heel furthest thing away from you. Internally rotate that left thigh, drawing the hip forwards, arms outstretched, looking over the right fingertips. From here, straighten that right leg. Draw yourself up, reach all the way forwards and then draw the right hand down towards your ankle, shin or calf. Stack the left shoulder on top of the right and draw the left hand all the way up towards the sky, looking up towards those fingertips. Stretching all down your left side. And take the hand all the way down towards your ankle, stretching forwards, bending through that knee, and again taking that front foot to the back, bring yourself into a plank and Chaturanga Dandasana. Draw yourself up into an up dog, and then take yourself back into your downward facing dog. Pad through the feet here, and again walk, step or jump your feet in between your hands to the top of your mat, and come into your forward fold. All the way down, holding onto your toes if you want to draw yourself a little bit lower, chest towards your thighs, and then draw yourself all the way up on the inhale, hands heart center, back to standing. From here, bring yourself onto the side of your mat, feet as wide as you can, and draw your hands all the way down towards the floor. Take your heels a little bit further away so you can feel the stretch between your calves as well. And walk your hands out and away from you. Then take your hands over to your right ankle, shin or calf and draw your head towards your knee. Have a few breaths here. And then slowly walk yourself over towards the left ankle, shin or calf, and again drawing your head down towards your knee. As you inhale and exhale, try and draw yourself a little bit closer. Then bring your hands all the way up in front of you. Extend your arms out and away, engage through your core, belly button in towards your spine, and reach far away from you. Then bring your hands back down towards the floor and take them level with your ankles and draw your head down towards the floor. Bring your hands to your hips and slowly lift all the way back up. From here, swivel over towards your right foot, coming into your low lunge, knee on the floor, elongate through those left toes and draw yourself up and forwards, stacking the knee over ankle. Then straighten through the right leg and sit back onto the left heel. Reach for your foot or your ankle and draw your head down towards your knee. Inhale and exhale, seeing if you can draw yourself a little bit closer in that forward fold. bring yourself back into that low lunge, and then take the front foot all the way to the back and all the way up and back into your downward facing dog. Then bring your left foot in between your hands, right knee down towards the floor, elongate through those right toes, and again stretching up and forwards. Then sit all the way back onto that right heel and straighten through the left leg, holding onto your foot or your ankle and drawing your head down towards your knee. Have a few breaths here. Inhaling, and as you exhale, draw yourself forwards, and then bring yourself back up, back into your plank, and then all the way up into your downward facing dog. Pad through the feet and then draw the right knee down towards the floor, parallel with the front of your mat, and come up into your side plank. So your left arm is stretching up towards the sky, and you've got a straight line travelling all the way from your wrist all the way down to your ankle. And bring yourself seated on towards the floor with your right heel behind your sitting bones and your left leg elongated out and away. Use the band if you want to here, hooking it over that left foot, and slowly walk your hands down the band, pulling yourself forwards and down towards your knee. Then with your right arm, reach it up towards the sky and then up and over, so stretching through your right side. Draw that right hand back up, releasing through the band. And bring yourself back up into your low lunge. Bring the left leg all the way up towards the sky and then back into your downward facing dog, and change sides. So your right knee is coming in, left leg is stretched up, and you're stretching your right arm up and forwards, creating a nice long line between your wrist and your ankle. Then draw yourself all the way down, so your right heel is coming behind your sitting bones and your left leg is elongated outwards. Using your band, hooking it around your foot and slowly drawing yourself down towards your leg. Then bring yourself up and take your right arm up towards the sky, stretching towards your toes but rotating the right shoulder up and away. Then bring yourself back up, taking the band away from your foot and bring yourself into a seated position with your knees up, feet on the floor. Slowly, belly button in towards your spine, lower yourself all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae, and then bring your heels in towards your glutes. Lift your hips all the way up towards the sky, making sure that your knees stay hip distance apart, clasping your hands, drawing your hands down towards your heels, and lifting into your bridge. Release through your hands, and then vertebrae by vertebrae, round down so your tailbone is the last thing to hit the floor. And again, taking yourself all the way back up, lifting up through your pelvis. Clasp your hands, drawing your hands down towards your ankles and lifting your hips all the way up towards the sky. Again, make sure your knees stay level with your hips. And if you want to, draw your right leg all the way up towards the sky, pointing with your toes. Change and draw your left leg all the way up towards the sky. Make sure your hips don't drop here. Bring the foot back down towards the floor, release through your hands and release vertebrae by vertebrae all the way down towards the floor. From here, draw your knees up towards your chest, support your lower back with your hands and bring yourself into a shoulder stand. Making sure that you're drawing your belly button in towards your spine, slowly bring your feet over and above your head. If you can, bring them down towards the floor or just bring them as close to as possible. Release your hands for support, palms down towards the floor, and then release your knees down towards your ears. Breathe here, trying to stretch all the way through your back. And then nice and slowly, with control, bring your legs all the way back up towards the sky and lower your spine, again vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the floor, using your core for control, with your feet being the last thing to come down towards the floor. Keep breathing until you're lying on the floor. Then bring your right knee up and your left knee, heels in towards your glutes. And just windscreen wipe your legs over from one side to the other as you're bending through your knees. Just rotating and loosening up through your hips. From here, bring your right heel on top of your left knee. And then change over, so you're taking your knees over to the left side and right side again, windscreen wiping between your legs. Keeping them on the left side and drawing that left heel on top of the right knee. Just stretching through the hips. Have a few breaths, then bring yourself back up. Bring yourself all the way up, hands level with your thighs, engage through your core, and extend your legs out and away, coming into boat pose. So keep your shins parallel with the floor, and if possible, straighten up through your legs. Belly button in towards your spine, really holding your core. And draw your knees in towards your chest, have a few moments here, resting on your sitting bones, and try again, elongating through the legs, holding through your core, arms either side of your thighs, straightening through the legs and slowly lowering yourself all the way down. Bring your fingertips up towards your temples, elongate through your legs, and then draw your right knee up and your left elbow comes to meet it. And then change, straightening through your legs, making sure you're lifting through your chest and your shoulders, so you're crunching and using your obliques to meet your knee. Continue doing this, working with your breath, inhaling and exhaling, making sure your knee and elbow touch each time, straightening through your legs and drawing yourself all the way back up. Again, having a breath here, holding your knees in towards your chest, straightening through the legs, all the way up if you can, belly button in towards your spine, and then slowly lower yourself all the way back down towards the mat. Bring yourself back up, hug those knees in towards your chest, have a breath here, and then bring yourself up into a standing position. So from here, take your heels down towards the floor and come into a yogi squat. So your elbows are on the inside of the knees, trying to open up through your hips a little bit more, hands together, hands heart center, straightening through your spine and then lifting all the way up into burning candle. Take the hands up and above your head, come up onto your tippy toes, reach as high up as you can, lengthening, and then slowly bending through your knees, keeping on your tiptoes as much as possible, lower yourself back down, heels back down towards the floor, back into your squat. Again, lifting all the way up through the crown of your head, hands all the way up towards the sky, up onto your tiptoes. Continue to breathe as you go through this, and then slowly lowering your hands all the way back down towards the floor, heels back down, elbows inside your knees back into your squat. Then take your left hand behind you, followed by your right, and slowly bring yourself down onto the floor. From here, then lift up all the way through your hips, outstretch that left hand all the way behind you, and come up into your wild thing. And slowly lower yourself back down to the floor, left hand up, right hand out and away, left hand is in contact with the floor, and lift your hips all the way up towards the sky. Then bring yourself back down, bring your knees in towards your chest, and have a moment here. Lie back, and then bring your right knee in towards you, your left hand on the outside of the right knee, and then take that right knee over towards the left side, keeping both your shoulder blades in contact with the floor, stretching through your glutes. If you want to, use a band here, take the band around your foot, and then straighten through that right leg all the way over towards the left side. Again, making sure both shoulder blades stay in contact with the floor, and you're twisting through the waist. Then take that right leg all the way up towards the sky, stretching through your hamstrings. Try and keep your legs straight, but if you need a slight micro bend, and then take it back down. Then bring the left leg in towards you, elongate through your right. Your right hand goes on the outside of that left knee, drawing that left knee down towards the floor, both shoulder blades in contact with the floor, and look over towards your outstretched left fingertips. Then bring yourself up, and if you need to, use the band to take that left leg outstretched all the way on the right hand side as you again twist through your waist, looking over towards the left fingertips. And bring your left leg all the way up towards the sky, keeping a micro bend through the knee if you need to, if you've got tight hamstrings, and slowly pull that leg in towards you, really stretching through the back of your leg. Draw the leg back down towards the floor, release the band, and then hold on to the outside of both of your feet, bringing them up towards the sky into happy baby. Again, bend through your knees if you need to, otherwise you get a hamstring shake if you've got tight hamstrings. Release through your knees and just bring your knees in towards your underarms. Then drop your feet all the way back down towards the floor. Bring the soles of your feet in towards one another and drop your knees onto the outside, taking them down towards the floor. You can either stay here or draw yourself down in Shavasana or corpse pose. So splaying your legs slightly out towards the side, a little bit wider than hips, hands either side of your body, palms facing up towards the sky, and sink down in towards the floor. Inhale and exhale here, feeling your diaphragm rise and fall, and just give yourselves a few moments to breathe. Try and keep as still as you can, reducing the arch in your lower spine, and just follow and concentrate on your breath. If you want to, give yourself a few moments here, and then once you've finished, draw your knees over towards your right hand side, and then draw them up towards your chest and bring yourself up into a seated position, cross-legged. Straighten up through the crown of your head. Rest the back of your arms or your wrists on your knees. And slowly lean all the way forwards, taking your hands out and away into a forward fold with crossed legs. Breathe here, inhaling and exhaling. And draw yourself all the way back up and change the cross of your legs. And again, folding all the way forwards. Work with your breath. On your exhale, try and sink a little bit deeper towards the floor. Try and get your knees a little bit closer towards the floor. Bring yourself back up into a comfortable seated cross-legged position. Hands Heart Center, Namaste. Thank you for your practice. This has been Becky from Strength in Motion. Thank you for watching this video and following along with my practice today. I hope you've enjoyed, and for more information on Strength in Motion, yoga for athletes, or yoga for strength and everyday life, please follow the link below.